Hey, y'all, let's cover number 21, graph linear equations in two variables, your student guided notes. Part one is the graph solution connection. So we've learned how to plot points. We've learned how to find points that are solutions to the equations, to the linear equations. And every point, x, y, because remember, every point is referred to as an ordered pair, x, y, that is on the line is a solution to the equation, and every solution to the equation is a point on the line. So if a point is on the line, it is a solution, and then if a point is not on the line, it is not a solution. So here's the instructions. The graph of the equation, it's already solved for y equals 3x minus 2 is shown below. Well, it's not, but I could draw it for you. Let me draw it for you real quick so you can see it. Use the graph and the equation to answer the question. So what we're going to do instead is I am going to do my darndest to draw the line just real quick because I didn't realize that this is what it needed. So x and y, so I can learn how to write y. And I don't expect you to be able to do this yet. Just give me a minute. All right, so give me just a moment. Pretend like that's a straight line. I'm not an artist. I never pretend to be. This is the line y equals 3x minus 2. All right. And we want to see if the point 1, 1 is on the line. Well, you can look at the graph and see that 1, 1 is on the line. But let's prove it as well. Y equals 3x minus 2, where 1 is my y, right? And 1 is my x. And we just need to verify that they're equal, that they're a solution. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. So yes, it is a solution. It is on the line. So yes, it is on the line and it is a solution. Let's look at the next one. It says, is the point 0, 0 on the line? Nope, it is not. But again, I'm not an artist. Perhaps I drew it wrong. So let's just double check. Where the y is, let me rewrite it. Y equals 3x minus 2. Where the y is, I'm going to put 0, because remember your ordered pairs are x, y. And where the x is, I'm going to put 0. 0 is equal to 3 times 0, which is 0. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. These are not equal. So no, it is not a solution. We could tell by the graph, but we can also tell by checking for solution. Conclusion, a point is a solution to the equation if and only if it lies on the line. All right, next victim. Part 2, graphing linear equations by plotting points. The most basic way to graph a line is to find several points. I usually don't do more than 3. Yes, it only takes a few points to graph a line, but what if you calculated one of them improperly? The third point is just a CYA to make sure that you don't have a point here, a point here, and a point here. You can't make a straight line with that. So we want to just make sure that our points are going to give us a nice line. Otherwise, we've done calculations wrong. All right, we're going to practice by graphing an equation solved for y, already solved, and we're going to graph this equation by finding 3 points. Now note, I did not give you any points to start with. That's because I want you to understand you can choose any point you want for x, anything. I like to stick with my basic 3 that I've used my entire life because I have found the best, they're the easiest ones to do, and people make fewer mistakes. And those are -1, 0, and 1. If there is no fraction, this is for no fractions, because we will have some with fractions. With no fractions, use these 3 for your x values. Anything you want. You're going to get the same line as I will. Where your x value is, you're going to replace that with your x. I'm going to do the first one, then I want you to do the next two. 2 times -1 is -2 minus 1. The signs are the same, so we add and keep the sign. So my y is -3. My xy is -1, -3. I can plot that point from my 0, 0, go left 1 for -1, and then go down 3, 1, 2, 3, place that point. We are not going to name the points. Instead, once we get our line drawn, we're going to name our line. You always want to label, not the points once we get to this point, but when we're doing the points, you need to label your points. When we're doing a line, as we're doing here, we're just going to name the line. So I want you to pause the video and do these next two just as I've done, plot your points, and see if you've got a straight line, and then come back to see how you did. So the next one is y equals 2. For the x's, I'm going to place a 0. 2 times 0 is 0, minus 1 is -1. So 0, -1 is my next one. Starting with your 0, 0, I'm not going left or right because my x is 0. Instead, I'm just going to go down 1 and place my point. All right, next one. Y is equal to 2 times 1 minus 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Bring over your minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So my ordered pair is 1, 1. Plot your point from your origin to the right 1 since it's positive, up 1 since it's positive. Place your point. Now let's draw our line. Why does this look a little off? Did I do something wrong here? -1 down 3. 0, -1. No, it's just my points. All right, so there is my straight line. Now, when you draw a straight line, you need to represent the fact that this sucker is not stopping at these 3 points. It's going on and on forever. So you need to create little arrows, however you want, at the ends of the line to show that it's going on and on. And then lastly, the last thing that you do for this, and please do so because otherwise there's points off, is label your line. Okay, and just use what was given. All right, let's go to the next one. Plot 3 points above, and okay, I already did that. Part 3, graphing vertical and horizontal lines. Sometimes an equation only has one variable, either x or y, and that's it. Here's an example. Graph x equals 4. Well, what does that look like? That's when only x is 4. Every point on the line has an x coordinate of 4. Done. The value of y can be anything. It can be 0, it can be -3, it can be 4, it can be anything. So let's create our ordered pairs. 4, 0, 4, -3, and 4, 4. I'm not going to plot these points. Instead, I'm going to just show you that if you have an x equals 4, it is just a vertical line that goes through where x is equal to 4. Again, you need to represent with arrows at both ends and label what line this is. Okay. Now let's check to see if all of these ordered pairs are on this line. 4, 0, yep. 4, -3, or -3, yep. And 4, 4. For 4 and up 4, sure is. Fantastic. So a x equals 4 is a vertical line that goes through the x-axis. It doesn't go through the y-axis unless it's x equals 0, and that is the y-axis. It's a vertical line up and down that crosses the x-axis at 4. Please make sure you understand that. Let's go to the next one. The next one's going to be a horizontal line. A horizontal line is going to cross the y-axis. And our next one is y equals -2. Every point on the line has a y coordinate of -2. -2, -2, -2. The x-axis, the value of x can be anything. So I'm just going to choose -4. I'm going to choose 0, and I'm going to choose 3. So I get ordered pairs that are -4, -2, 0, -2, and 3, -2. I'm not going to plot these ordered pairs. Instead, I want you to understand that a graph that is y equals -2 is a horizontal line that goes through where the y value is -2, right here. So from there, I'm just going to create a line that goes through -2 with arrows on both ends to represent that it keeps going on and on forever, and labeling what that line is. Y equals -2. The line is a straight line that is horizontal, side to side, and it crosses the y-axis at -2. Let's verify that our order pairs are working. -4, -2. I went left 4, down 2. Yup. 0, -2. Don't go left or right. I just go down to -2. Yup. And then 3, -2. I'm going to go to the right 3, down 2, and yup, they all work. Okay. So we've talked about plotting points from a line that does not have fractions. We've talked about vertical lines, which are x equals a value. And we've talked about horizontal lines, which are y equals just a number. There's no x's in horizontal lines. If there's an x, it's not going to be a horizontal line. Okay. For the next one, and this is the one that students freak out with me on because there's a fraction. Don't. I'm going to show you the easiest way to do this. For fractions, when x has a fraction coefficient just means the number in front of x, choose values of x that are multiples of the denominator. I tend to just use the denominator. So for my x values, I'm going to choose 2 because that is the denominator. I love 0. Who doesn't? And then I like to use the negative of the denominator. And that's it. I don't do anything else but that. Let me show you why. And I'm going to do the first one. I want you to do the next two. Y is equal to 1/2 times 2 minus 3. Now, remember when we did unit conversions, how did we multiply the fraction? Straight across, or do we cross multiply? You will never hear me use the words cross multiply in this class or in the next one. It's not something we're going to do. It's always multiplying straight across. And if it helps you, put this 2 over 1, because then that's 1 times 2, which is 2, over 2 times 1, which is 2. I'm going to bring over the -3. What is 2 divided by 2? Put in your calculator if you don't know. It's 1. So 2 over 2 is 1 minus 3. Fraction's gone. Okay. So if it helps you to see it differently, these reduce and you're left with just 1. It doesn't mean this goes away and becomes 0. That's not the case. That means that you're left with 1 over 1, which is 1. All right. You can look at it different ways. Lastly, if you don't know this, put in your calculator, positive 1 minus 3. The signs are different, so we subtract them and take the sign of the larger number. So my ordered pair is 2, -2, no fractions. Do the next two, pause the video, do the next two yourself, and then come back to see how you did, because I'll finish them up. I'm going to go ahead and plot this ordered pair. 2 to the right, and then down 2, place my point. I don't label this because I label my line. All right. Now, if you haven't paused, please pause the video at this point and do the next two yourself. 1/2 times 0 minus 3. Anything times 0 is 0. Minus 3 is -3. So my ordered pair is 0, -3. Don't go left or right. We're just going to go down 3 and place our point. The last one is y equals 1/2 times -2. Again, put that over 1 if it makes it easier for you to see it. This becomes -2 over 2, which is -1 minus 3. Negative and a negative, you add them and keep the sign. So my ordered pair is -2, -4. From the origin, go left 2, down 4, place your point. Draw the line, connect the dots, and then continue the line with arrows. Lastly, label the line with what the original line was. Y equals 1/2 x minus 3. And that's it. Let me know right here whatever questions you need. If there's anything you need to give yourself to help prepare for the exam or the homework, give yourself those supports and let me know what questions you have. All right, the next one, we do not have it solved for y. So we've got 3x plus 4 is equal, 3x plus y is equal to 4. I need to solve for y. So I'm going to come up here and rewrite this. And I want to solve for y. So who's attached to y and how? 3x is attached and it's positive. So we need to subtract 3x from both sides. Remember, you cannot combine these two. 4 does not have an x. They are not like terms. So I'm just going to write -3x plus 4. You could also write 4 minus 3x. Totally your call. There's no fractions here. This is no fractions. So I'm just going to use -1, 0, and 1. I want you at this point to take this equation and these x's, find your y values, create your ordered pairs, and then plot your points. I want you to do all of it right now without me. Then come back to check to make sure you're on the right track, okay? If you have any questions on how to solve for y, please write that on your notes so that you can remember to ask me. Let me help you out. All right, pause the video, come back. So we're going to use y equals -3x plus 4. Y equals -3, where my x is, I'm placing -1 plus 4. Negative times a negative is a positive. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 4 is 7. So my ordered pair is -1, 7. The next one is y equals -3 times 0 plus 4. Anything times 0 is 0. Bring over the 4. 0 plus 4 is 4. So my ordered pair is 0, 4. And then the last one, y equals -3 times 1 plus 4. Negative times a positive is a negative. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 4. All right, now we're adding. The signs are different though. So we have to subtract and take the sign of the larger number. My ordered pair is 1, 1. Okay, now we need to plot our points. I am sorry, I did not create a graph that had enough up to 7, but we can just, fake it till we make it, right? -1, 7. So from your origin, we're going to go left 1 for our x, and then we have to go up to 7. So if this is 5, we'll say this is 6, and this is 7. So right there looks to be about -1, 7. 0, 4, so we don't go left or right, we just go up to 4 and place our point. And then the last one is +1, and there's our point. Give me a moment to connect the dots and continue them with my arrows. All right, and then I have to label it. Now I could label it as this or this. I'm going to always use the original equation, because what if I calculated it wrong? What if I solved for y wrong? I want to make sure that I'm representing that means everything else is going to be wrong, but I still want to get the labeling correct. All right, the summary check. Fill in the blanks. The graph of a linear equation is a straight line. There's no curves to it. Any point on the line is a solution to the equation. To graph y equals 1/3 x plus 2, you should choose x values that are multiples of the denominator to avoid fractions. I like to use the denominator, so I would use 3, -3, and then always 0, because 0 makes everything easier. And then the graph of the equation x equals 5 is a vertical line up and down, And the graph of an equation that is y equals -1 is a horizontal line. And that's left or right. Okay. It's flat. That's it. I will see you in the next video. Let me know what questions you have.